Evening, 2 matches tonight, plus a cracking goal of the month, and the analysis comes from Danny Murphy and Karen Carney. We begin at Stamford Bridge and 2 possible title contenders. Chelsea against Manchester City with Steve Wilson.
It's fantastic here in Stamford Bridge winning, but especially the way we played. That today we back like we were 2 seasons ago, 3 seasons ago. So, and the commitment for all the players. So yeah, we play really good, really well.
I'm the man to have the reality check and say that there's going to be work and at times pain. If you rebuild, you have some pain behind the scenes and some pain on the scenes, which we felt today in the first half. And you have to fight through that, whether it's me, the players, this club, we have to fight through it because we're out a minute. And I think today was painful in the first half in football terms because their level of player showed where we need to aspire to. In the second half, I saw a decent reaction, but the work has to be done.
We needed 5-10 minutes to come into the game a little bit, looking for the positions also for myself, because obviously I'm not used to playing a deep striker. But I think after that we find the rhythm, and obviously you just put the ball in the space, and obviously Raz is so quick, and in the end it's just lucky that I can control the ball. But good, I finally scored an open goal. That's good.
It's obvious this season that it'll be a much lower points total to actually win the Premier League. Playing like that, you're going to take a lot of points over the coming games.
Well, today is the first day that people say that. So far, we were not contented. It doesn't matter. So I think hopefully in the Premier League we can be the last 6, 7, 8 games being there to fight for the Premier League at the end. But I'm pretty sure our people will be so proud for the way we played today.
Very good today. Weren't they the best performance of the season?
By a mile. If we needed a reminder from this City team that they're in this title race, we got it tonight. We really did. There was some brilliant individual performances, but it was the mentality, the mindset of the team and the way they set up tactically that won the game for me. This was a different Manchester City that I've seen in previous months. De Bruyne, as he said in his interview there, played as a 9, false 9. He was superb. Look at the width Foden and Sterling gave the team. Gundogan and Silva ahead of Rodri. They have been playing 2 holding midfielders, much more adventurous, much more courageous in the way they played. I love the way he deployed his fullbacks inside, supporting the play. At times, like midfielders, Cancelo was brilliant. This is De Bruyne early in the game. Should have went one up, running off the back of people. Zinchenko on the left-hand side, playing well, coming in. And here, the other fullback on the edge of the box. And that's what we've seen City do for the last couple of seasons, play with that exciting, adventurous mindset. Sterling give and go, De Bruyne fitting it all together, and look at the 2 midfielders getting on the edge of the box, inside the box, causing problems instead of what we've seen more recently, a cautious approach. Free-flowing they were today. De Bruyne dropping off at times, running in behind. Does he pick the right pass? Of course he does. And again you see Gundogan getting in there, and Rodri was left holding the midfield on his own, which is what we'd want to see City do generally. Again, De Bruyne getting in these gaps. They couldn't pick him up. Great run from out to in from Foden. Gets back in a position, and look at this for a finish. I mean, his performance today was brilliant as well.
Doesn't look, does he?
Watching him today made me think of a reason why Pep hasn't played him more. And that could apply to 1 or 2 of the other players we're going to look at today as well. But complete performance and worrying for everybody else.
Because you're going to, I mean, we could have picked 4 or 5 players, couldn't we, to actually look at and their individual performance. And you're going to look at one who hasn't been used or seen as much, maybe for, injury reasons as well at times over the last, well, certainly this season.
Well, I think everyone at Manchester City and the fans have all missed David Silva, but today I want to talk about the other Silva, Bernardo Silva, and I thought he was brilliant today. And in particular, just everything about him, he just set City on the way. Just the simplicity of his game, checking his shoulder there, give me the ball, and everything was forward. I want to break a line and set Manchester City on their attacks constantly. Breaking forward, again, looking his shoulders, looking what's around him. That's the intelligence of him, and lucky there with the block. But he was just outstanding. He was popping up on the right, on the left, between the pockets. Picks out a pass here. Foden arguably should have done better, but he makes everybody else look better. Again, going down a cul-de-sac, you're thinking, where's he going? No, I'm going to break a line with that pass, set Raheem Sterling on his way, Manchester City on their way again. Forward passing, out wide, Zinchenko on his inside running, out of possession, fantastic, and playing those through balls. He broke lines and played in between passes for Chelsea the whole game. and he was just, everything about him was just a joy to watch.
It's interesting, isn't it? Because Pep in that interview there said, you know, it was like us of 2 or 3 years ago, and so much of their tactics, and Danny highlighted the fullbacks coming inside a bit like that. If you just go back a couple of years to when City last won the title, and Bernardo Silva's influence there, you know, 31 starts and 5 sub-appearances. If they can start him more, the evidence is there.
Look, I think it takes a lot of pressure off Kevin De Bruyne, and that's what he comes in. He kind of stepped up today, and he was like, Kevin De Bruyne, you go and play your role because it's unfamiliar, but I'll take a bit more responsibility, and that's what he did. He was just simple, just kept everything moving, and like I said, Chelsea couldn't get near him. He was just outstanding.
I think they still look good defensively as well, which when they've played more attacking at times, they've looked vulnerable. They didn't today. And he's another reason for that, because he also does so much going the other way as well. It was a complete performance.
So if it's a complete performance, which you both agree on, how can you analyse Chelsea here? I mean, can you criticise Chelsea, or do you just have to go, do you know what, hands up, they were just by far the better team?
Well, you can always applaud brilliance, but when you've got top quality players and high standards, you'll be nitpicking and looking at where they could have done better. Yes, they were more fatigued. And yes, you know, they have rotated players a little bit more and been struggling recently. Confidence is a bit low. But today, I didn't see a Chelsea side at it. I didn't see them pressing the same way I've seen them do recently, or in their good run, I should say. You know, giving players too much space. Look, 3 Chelsea players around the ball, the 2 centre-halves, miles apart. Whether that's, as I said, fatigue, lack of communication, I don't know, but it wasn't good enough. Frank won't be watching this, enjoying it, because they're simple things. Ziyech, who's been injured and come back in the team, dives in, can't do that against City. Here's your right back again. He had a wonderful game, Cancelo. Pulisic, too late, not tracking. Chilwell does see him, but doesn't really get there. Comes to Cancelo. He skies it, luckily, for Pulisic. And little details in football, basics, pressing, tracking runners. Frank talked about himself in the interview, to be fair. Kante here. Can you get after him? Can you put some pressure on the ball? No. Token gesture tackle from Ziyech. Mount, this time, letting Gundogan run off him, midfielder that is. Yes, it's a brilliant turn and goal because Silva doesn't quite read the turn, but I mean, that's not normally Mount either. You know, he normally tracks run as well. So Frank will be disappointed with some of the basics that didn't happen in that first half hour.
He spoke afterwards, Karen. He said any build or rebuild takes pain behind the scenes and pain on the pitch occasionally. From what you saw today, do they look like a rebuilding job in the middle of one?
Yeah, look, when he first came in, he had the youngsters. He couldn't bring anyone, buy anyone, bring them in. And he did really well with the youngsters. The next part of his project was to buy, and he spent £200 million. Now he has to bring that all together and add in the winning mentality. I think today they got beaten by the better team by far, but the worrying thing is that at Chelsea, when you're given a war chest, and now it's, you know, they've lost 4 out of the last 6, that's the more worrying issue. But you've got to give him time. There's a lot of new players on that have to gel, and Frank will get them doing. He'll eventually get them gelling.
Very quickly, do you think he knows his best 11? Is there such a thing as actually as a best 11 in modern football?
I think he does.
Right.
I think he does, and I think it's very rare he's had the opportunity to play it together. And I agree. I think they'll get better. I think I give him time. Don't do anything silly. I know Chelsea have done in the past, but we've seen with Arteta and Ole, things can improve. Just be patient.
OK. And now it has been a weekend of stories about Premier League players breaking